Hi, today I'm going to tell you about the movie My Fault London. Give me a like now and let's get started. Meet our main character, 18-year-old Noah. She really doesn't want to move to London, but her mom found a new husband there. Before leaving, Noah gives her best friend her favorite car as a goodbye gift. She also shares a passionate kiss with her boyfriend. Now they'll have to maintain a long-distance relationship. Soon, Noah and her mom arrive at a gorgeous London mansion. They're greeted by Will, her mom's wealthy new husband. He even has a butler. Will warmly welcomes his stepdaughter and sends her on a house tour. This mansion looks like it's designed for grand balls. The garage has an amazing collection of luxury cars. But the best part is Noah's new room. She now has her own walk-in wardrobe filled with designer clothes. But can this really replace her old life? Through her window, Noah spots her new stepbrother and his friends by the pool. She overhears that Nick doesn't care about his stepsister's arrival. Suddenly, he notices her watching from the window. Just then, Noah's mom catches her looking. Noah admits it's not bad here, but the main thing is that no one can reach them here. But who is she afraid of? Mom reminds her there's Will's charity gala tonight. Noah heads to the kitchen but bumps into her stepbrother by the fridge and jumps in surprise. This cocky guy is making fun of his unwanted guest. But Noah isn't happy to be here either, though Nick saw her pleased expression. Then his friend Giles enters the kitchen. Noah fights back and calls Nick a spoiled daddy's boy and his stalker. Yeah, this introduction definitely didn't go well. Nick asks his stepsister to stay away from him, and Noah is totally fine with that. The girl seeks support from her boyfriend and records him a voice message about how miserable she is here. She misses him so much. That evening, the whole Leicester family gathers for a high society charity gala. Noah decides to impress everyone and makes a dramatic entrance in an elegant, revealing dress. Nick can't take his eyes off her, but such an inappropriate outfit only amuses him. The deflated girl heads to the charity gala with her parents. They arrive at another London palace in an expensive car. But Noah's mood is completely ruined. Nick is already there, happily posing for photographers with some elegant woman. Noah feels out of place here. Meanwhile, Nick is popular and waltzes with his lady. All these snobs gathered to listen to her stepfather Will. He's organizing fundraising to fight global warming. But Noah is more concerned about her overconfident stepbrother. Then she catches the eye of his friend. Giles asks if she managed to find common ground with her stepbrother. So far, they hate each other. Of course, since she called him a spoiled brat. But it turns out Nick created a popular app called Connect and sold it for tons of money. Maybe Noah was wrong about him. The wealthy snobs interrogate Noah about her higher education. Unexpectedly, Nick comes to her rescue. Noah has taken a gap year, and then she's applying to Yale. But Noah manages to capture their attention with stories about moving from America. Nick interrupts the conversation to drive her home. Proud Noah wants to take a taxi, but Nick's father asked him to escort her personally. His gorgeous red McLaren pulls up to the entrance. The valet, Zach, turns out to be Nick's friend. He got him this job. Secretly, Noah dreams of riding in her stepbrother's car. Sitting next to Nick, she apologizes for calling him a spoiled rich boy, but Nick remains arrogant, though he should be the one apologizing. In the heat of their argument, Noah mentions his parents. This is a sensitive topic for the perfect boy. Then Noah blurts out, "Maybe he's not daddy's boy, but mommy's?" Offended Nick stops the car in the middle of the road. He drops Noah off in the middle of nowhere. Will Nick really abandon her alone in an unfamiliar city? Her stepbrother drives away. How will Noah get home now? Her phone died, so she can't call a taxi. The beauty walks along the road in her elegant dress. A passing car honks and stops nearby. Phew, it's just Zach from the valet. Nick sent him to give Noah a ride home, but she isn't going home. In the car, she uses all her charm to win over Zach. He brings girl to a party where Nick usually hangs out. Inside this dark place, she runs into bad boy Tommy. He called Noah a toy but offered her a drink as an apology. Noah accepts it but leaves with dignity. There's Nick in the neon light dancing with a couple of hot girls. He's celebrating too early. Noah calls out to him and throws her cocktail right in his face. How could he abandon her alone on the road? Noah silently walks away. Trying to drown her disappointment, she takes a drink from a bottle. After that, everything becomes blurry. Noah feels sick. Suddenly, someone grabs her from behind. It's Nick. Judging by her eyes, Noah took something. Who gave this to her? She thinks she's a toy for Tom. Nick finds the scoundrel outside. Why did he spike her drink? For this, Nick delivers a powerful punch to his nose. This makes Tommy back down. His thugs are afraid to mess with the guy. Nick helps the girl get to the car and drives her home. When Noah passes out, he notices a nautical knot tattoo behind her ear. Nick puts his stepsister to bed and can't take his eyes off her. Through the neckline of her dress, deep scars are visible. Where did they come from? The next morning, Noah can't believe what happened. She's about to tell her stepfather what company his Wonder Boy keeps, but Nick stops her. He asks her not to reveal his secret. Now Noah feels sympathy for her savior. Meanwhile, her boyfriend Dan can't even find time to call her. On social media, she looks at Anna, who was with Nick at the reception. There's definitely something between them, maybe right now, but it seems Noah has a plan. She sneaks into her stepbrother's room. The girl smells his cologne, examines his clothes. She dreamily tries on his leather jacket. At this moment, Nick catches her red-handed. Noah runs away embarrassed, pretending it was an accident. But now it's obvious to Nick that she has feelings for him. How could she give herself away like that? Then Noah gets a message on her phone. Thought you should know. An anonymous person sent a photo of her boyfriend Dan with another girl. Is he really kissing her best friend? At this moment, Noah's entire past life collapsed. The girl catches Nick leaving the garage in a racing car. Without saying a word, Noah gets in his car. She's coming with him. He races through London streets like crazy, but Noah doesn't pay attention. She texts her ex. Forget my number. Nick perceives her indifference as a challenge. He tries to impress the girl and drifts into a racing party, but this doesn't surprise Noah. Among the roaring engines, the girl feels at home. She notices a girl with a cool car and compliments her. Custom paint job, fly spokes, and 200 brakes? It seems Noah found the key to her heart. This is Jenna, and she invites her into her car. Soon, Noah is showing her new friend a photo of the cheater. The worst part is they kissed in her car. Her farewell gift to her best friend. Jenna supports her. Noah tells how she ended up in London and that her new stepbrother is just a jerk. It seems she needs a normal friend right now, and Jenna gives her number. Her friend Knuckles in a wheelchair announces there will be a race today if the cops don't show up. Then Jenna's boyfriend Liam approaches, along with their friend Nick.
Wait a minute!
Jenna introduces Noah to him. She moved from Florida to her stepfather and his jerk son. Oops, awkward. It seems these two already know each other. How did the friends meet Nick? Turns out Liam has his own boxing gym. One day, rich boy Nick came to him for training. Now he fights in the ring, and few can defeat him. When Nick returned, Jenna decided to reveal his stepsister's secret. Her friend cheated with her boyfriend. Now Noah has two options. Send a photo where she's kissing someone or go wild. The beauty plans to do both at once. She dances to the music like nobody's watching, but Nick can't take his eyes off her. Her hot moves also attracted this guy. Before they move to kissing, Nick bursts onto the dance floor and leads the troublemaker outside by the hand. He sits Noah on the hood of a racing car, but why did he lean so close? At this moment, Nick slowly kisses the girl. He can't pull away from her lips. Noah doesn't seem to mind this kiss either, but they're interrupted by a camera flash. Now Noah has a photo with a kiss, and she can get revenge on her ex. Nick reluctantly walks away. Jenna's boyfriend bets his entire salary on Nick's victory. He has a race today, but he can't beat Ronnie. This thug just got out of prison, and he and Nick have old scores to settle. Nick shouldn't underestimate him. Jenna is sure he'll lose. Then Noah takes matters into her own hands. While Nick places his bet, Noah sneaks to his car and secretly gets behind the wheel. Ronnie is ready to race. The engine roars, and the girl gives the start command. Suddenly, Nick notices something's wrong. Who's in his car? But it's too late. The race has begun. Is Noah really serious about winning? She actually manages to get ahead of Ronnie, but he cuts the route and breaks ahead. Now the thug blocks the path to victory. They reach the finish like this, but the result will be decided on the second lap. Noah floors it and manages to catch up with Ronnie. Then he notices there's a girl behind the wheel. Enraged, Ronnie rams her bumper and performs a police turn. Noah's car spins around, and now she's facing Ronnie directly. But the girl isn't afraid of him. She starts moving in reverse. Nick is shocked. She can't win the race this way. Then his stepsister pulls the handbrake and spins the car at full speed. Ronnie is ahead again, but the gap is small. On the last turn, Noah boldly scrapes his BMW. Spectators notice roaring cars emerging from the final turn, and Noah is now ahead. She crosses the finish line first and wins this race. The crowd cheers, but Ronnie is furious. Why was there a different racer behind the wheel? While he was in prison, Nick got completely out of line and even beat up Tommy for nothing. Noah interjects that he deserved it. Ronnie orders her to shut up. For this, he gets a powerful blow from Nick. A massive fight breaks out. The tension triggers Noah's panic attack. Then a police siren sounds. Ronnie promises to settle with Nick with fists one-on-one. Ignoring this, Nick grabs Noah and takes her away from the scene. At home, he calms the girl down and gives her hot tea. Noah apologizes for what happened, but Nick was more worried about her than the race. It turns out they have matching tattoos and so much in common. Noah admits she has panic attacks when she sees violence. She asks Nick not to fight Ronnie, but it seems he has no choice. After what happened, Noah decides to send her ex a photo of her kiss. Then she catches Nick's gaze on her. The girl thanks him for the kiss. The spark ignites between them again, and Nick leans closer. Noah teases him with her lips, but at the last moment pulls away and goes to sleep. She's driving Nick crazy. The next morning, she's woken by a call from her ex, but she doesn't answer. At breakfast, his stepsister catches Nick's fiery gaze. But for Noah's mom, she pretends she's still with Dan. Nick pretends to be an exemplary son and attributes his bruises to boxing training. To avoid questions, he's going to visit Maddie. Who's that? The parents insist he take his stepsister with him. While Nick was getting ready, Noah already sat behind the wheel of his sports car. The guy has no choice but to give her the keys. He had no idea how Noah could drive. She speeds her stepbrother to Maddie's house. Turns out Maddie is Nick's younger sister, and his mom lives here. Did Nick really decide to introduce Noah to his family? They have a great time, and Noah gets to know Nick better. His parents divorced when he was 12. Mom allows him to see his younger sister on one condition: no fighting. He avoids trouble to see the main woman in his life. Such wording wouldn't please his girlfriend Anna. But Nick says they're just friends. It seems Noah found common ground with Nick's little sister. She and Maddie do manicures while Mom scolds Nick for fighting. Now she might forbid Nick from coming to Maddie's soccer game. Nick leaves angrily. Noah stays alone with his mom. She admits that after the divorce, Nick started releasing negative energy through fighting, but she's trying to fix him. Nick returns closer tonight. He admits to Noah he would have smashed her ex's head. If she were his, he wouldn't let anyone hurt her. Nick slowly pulls Noah to him. They kiss again. This couple just can't control themselves. But they're interrupted by Maddie's little voice. The next morning, they're getting ready to go home. Nick tenderly says goodbye to his younger sister and promises to come to her game. Mom gives Nick one last chance. No more fighting. Nick drives Noah home. The girl suggests spending the evening together watching a movie. But Nick is busy today. Is he now avoiding Noah? Because of her failed race, he has to fight Ronnie. After dropping Noah at home, Nick drives away somewhere. That evening, Noah watches a movie alone when she hears a strange noise outside. Did someone break onto the property? Frightened, the girl grabs a poker, and then he appears behind her. It's her ex Dan, but he almost got hit in the head for such surprises. Noah's mom invited him so their daughter wouldn't be lonely, but Noah doesn't want to see him. Dan apologizes for his mistake. He wants to kiss Noah, but she dodges. He has nowhere to go, and Noah agrees to shelter him, but only as a friend. The next morning, they have breakfast together, and Dan promises to do everything to get the girl back. When he approached for a kiss, Nick enters the room. Does Noah really allow him such things? He refuses to shake Dan's hand and leaves with his coffee. Her ex calls her stepbrother a fool, then realizes, is this who Noah kissed in the photo? Now Dan understands everything. When Nick was changing, Noah burst into his room. She asks Nick to kiss her. He doesn't need to be asked twice. But Noah suggests kissing only her collarbone, then her neck. Then Nick kisses her hip hollow. For this, she asks Nick not to beat up her poor ex, but make him leave. After this, Noah leaves, leaving Nick frustrated. He goes downstairs and runs into Dan. Hasn't Nick seen his girlfriend? But he says the ex lost the right to call her that. He offers him $1,000 to fly out of here on the first flight, but Dan is above that. He wants $1,500. Soon Nick is loading his things into the car, but he shouldn't have said Noah likes unhealthy relationships. For this, Nick gave Dan a good punch in the nose, then asked the butler to drive him away. That evening, Nick surprises Noah, a bag of her ex's ridiculous movie t-shirts. They happily throw them into the fire. Finally, Noah's dream came true. This helps her release the burden from her shoulders. They drink wine to her breakup. When Nick stepped away, a message comes to his phone. Liam sent the fight address. He bet $20,000 on Nick. Noah couldn't miss this. She came to the fight with Janice, but underground fights are so brutal. Friends are set for an epic victory, but why is Noah sad? Standing in the ring, Nick notices her. Then Ronnie emerges from the crowd. The referee announces the start of the match, and Nick immediately gets a dirty headbutt. Disoriented, he takes another hit from Ronnie and falls to the floor. But Nick finds the strength to get up. Now he gives the thug payback and takes the fight to the ground. Nick finishes off his opponent blow by blow, and the crowd cheers. But Noah can't watch this. She runs away saying, now Nick will never see Maddie. Hearing this, Nick completely forgot about his opponent. He wants to end the fight immediately, though only 10 seconds remain. Nevertheless, Nick leaves, not caring about victory, but Ronnie won't have it. He catches up with Nick at the exit and pushes him from behind. From the fall, Nick drops his McLaren keys, and the thugs pick them up. Then Ronnie pulls out a knife. He takes Nick's car as compensation for the ruined fight. The guy can only watch as the thugs drive away with his beloved car into the sunset. A mysterious stranger observes this situation. That night, Noah lies in her bed and gets a message. Nick left the fight, and Ronnie took his McLaren. The next morning is Nick's birthday, but he can't pull himself together. As a gift, his father offers him a trip to Ibiza with friends, and Nick wants to take Noah with him. He finds the girl by the pool. Noah thinks he did the right thing leaving the fight. Suddenly, Nick pulls the girl into the pool. What gift does he want from her for his birthday? Noah knows what he wants and swims closer. A breath mint, but Nick presses her against the edge. He whispers in Noah's ear to keep her emotions under control. Then Nick touches her skin underwater, and Noah seems to like it. Will they be together? But then Mom appears. When she leaves, Nick approaches the girl again. But instead of continuing, he just gets out of the pool. Now he left Noah frustrated. For his birthday, Noah decided to teach her stepbrother how to drive. They came to a racing track. The girl helps Nick put on special gear, and soon they're on the starting line. The green light comes on, and the couple drives McLarens onto the track. Nick politely lets the lady go first, but can he catch up with Noah now? Only if he learns to cut corners. His stepsister didn't give him a single chance. But after the race, she rewards him with a kiss. As a consolation prize, Nick gets a small toy McLaren. Did Noah buy him a new car? This gift really made him happy. At the gas station, Noah went to buy snacks. But as soon as she got in the car, someone violently smashed the windshield. These thugs with golf clubs are destroying Nick's only car. Good thing he locked the doors in time. The guy hit the gas and they managed to escape. One of the thugs was Ronnie under the mask. But what was the stranger doing there? At home, Noah can't understand why Ronnie won't calm down. She tends to Nick's injured elbow. Maybe it's time to report the thug to police? But Nick plans to deal with him personally. Time to go to sleep. They have an early flight tomorrow. In Ibiza, Noah and Nick act like a couple. They relax on the seashore with friends. While the girls went swimming, Leon asks what's happening between them. Nick fears that if they become a couple, it'll be complete chaos. Leon advises taking everything from life, and they run to swim together. Nick splashes with Noah, and they have a great time. That evening, friends continue partying at the club and dance until dawn. Finally, Nick can stop hiding his feelings. He kisses Noah like it's the first time since nobody knows them here. But Leon warns that Ronnie is looking for them at home. His friend has a plan to get rid of trouble. Nick needs to fight Ronnie again and let him win. But Nick doesn't want to fight anymore. Then he notices some guy hitting on Noah on the dance floor. She doesn't reciprocate, but the stranger presses too close. The girl rejects the pest, and Nick bursts in. He knocks out the rival with one punch. People around are shocked, and Noah is disappointed by the senseless violence. Nick gets kicked out of the club for this outburst. Noah accuses him of selfishness and wants to apologize to the poor guy, but Nick roughly grabs her. Noah won't tolerate this. Nick represents everything she's trying to escape from. The girl walks away from him. Soon the company return to London. Nick and Noah pretend to be family as if nothing happened between them. Now Giles invites Noah to parties, and she avoids Nick. Jenna is surprised by their breakup. But Noah can't be near a violent person. She's had enough experience with an abusive father. But Noah doesn't notice that jealous Anna is watching her. How could Nick trade her for his stepsister? She wishes she would disappear. The jealous girl decides to teach Noah a lesson. Anna's friend lures Noah to the upstairs bathroom. Nick just arrives at the party. At this moment, Anna pushes Noah into a closet and locks her in. Now she's going to seduce Nick. Meanwhile, he's wondering where Noah disappeared. Nick went to the second floor to find her. But then the handsome guy is intercepted by Anna, who offers to drink together. In the confined space, Noah has a panic attack. She calls for help, but nobody hears her over the loud music. Anna invites the guy on a date. They haven't spent time together in so long, but right now, he needs to find Noah. The girl hints that Nick should stop bothering his stepsister. There are already disgusting rumors about them. Better that his father doesn't find out. Then Nick realizes something. He can't stand Anna anymore. This rudeness shocks her. Upstairs, Nick looks around for Noah and notices Anna's worried friends. Behind them comes Noah's piercing scream. The girl has a flashback with her abusive father. Nick finds her locked in the closet. He breaks down the door with force. Nick finds her barely alive from fear. Unlike her father, he treats her so gently. He rescues Noah from captivity. Disappointed, Anna can only watch the couple leave. Sitting by the pool, Noah admits her father was bearable when he wasn't drinking. He taught Noah to drive like that. He was a professional racer. But over time, he completely lost it. Noah testified against him in court and sent her father to prison. But Nick comforts her that it's not her fault. Right now, all she wants is Nick. They merge in a passionate kiss, and Noah leads Nick to her room. Now they don't hide their desires. The next morning, Nick wakes the girl before leaving. He's going to Maddie's game. Noah will wait for him. But even at the stadium, Nick can't forget about her. They chat on the phone with Noah and just glow with happiness. Noah spends time with Mom. She admits she no longer regrets their move to London. Nick returns to family dinner, but seizing the moment he kisses Noah in the pantry, then in the shower. God, they're constantly kissing. But in the middle of the night, the garage alarm goes off. The butler notices blood traces leading to Nick's car. Inside, he finds tied up and beaten Liam. The guy is taken by ambulance. Jenna thinks it's Nick's fault. He never settled the conflict with Ronnie. Will realizes it's not safe in the house now. Security will take Noah and Mom to a hotel for a couple days. Nick watches them go. He's in for a conversation with his father and Detective Sato. In the luxurious hotel, Noah can't find peace. Mom suggests getting distracted at the pool, but Noah stays in the room waiting for news. Nick tells police about Ronnie's tricks, but police think this attack was staged by Noah's father, Travis. He recently got out of prison and came to London with a fake passport. Ronnie works for him. Looking at the photo, Nick recognizes the stranger he saw at the fight club and gas station. 4 years ago, the father attacked Noah, so he left her those terrible scars. But what is he planning now? Nick remembers how thugs broke into his car. They wanted to get to Noah. Noah is in danger. At this time, the girl left her room to go down to Mom at the pool, but at the last moment, Ronnie holds the elevator door. He gets inside and accompanies the girl down. In the parking garage, Noah meets her ex-con father. Now she has nowhere to run. Police radio reports a missing 18-year-old girl. Nick can't believe it. Suddenly, Will's phone rings. It's Travis! He hands the phone to screaming Noah. As ransom, Daddy demands $1 million and sends an account for transfer. Nick can't sit still and goes to his car. Then he notices Noah's gift, the toy McLaren. Nick calls his father. He remembered there's a tracker installed in the McLaren. If he finds the car, he'll find Ronnie, and with him, Noah. Nick is already racing to the found location and reports the address to police. At an abandoned airfield, Noah sits tied up aboard a plane. Then Ronnie bursts in. He'll get part of the ransom, but money isn't what concerns him. He's hated rich kids like Nick his whole life. Today, Noah will be bait, and Ronnie will get revenge on the rich boy. He returns to the boss. The thugs hear a racing car. Nick is racing alone, but cops won't be long. Travis commands to get out of here, but Ronnie decides to deal with Nick first. Daddy loads things into the McLaren. Nick gets out of his car searching for Noah. Meanwhile, the girl managed to free one hand, but then they came for her. Nick sneaks among abandoned hangars, but Ronnie grabs him from behind. The father is about to take the hostage to another location. Nick knocks down Ronnie with a head blow, but the villain pulls out a knife. Ronnie tries to stab Nick, but he dodges and knocks the knife from Ronnie's hands. Now they're on equal terms. Nick delivers blow after blow to the villain, but Ronnie doesn't give up and drops Nick to the ground. Nick grabs his leg to prevent him from picking up the knife. In the struggle, Ronnie still reaches the blade and points it at the lying guy's face. However, Nick dodges and knocks the villain off his feet. Then he hears Noah's cries for help. This distracts Nick, and Ronnie stabs the guy in the stomach. The villain cried out that Nick had it coming. The wounded guy can barely stand. Ronnie raises the knife for the decisive blow, but Nick dodges and sharply hits Ronnie with a pipe. Knockout! But Travis is already putting Noah in the car. Despite his wound, Nick rushes to help, and Travis pulls out a gun. The guy has to hide from the shot. The father now aims at Noah. Noah hits the gas and leaves the airfield, but Nick is already racing after them. He manages to avoid getting shot, so the father orders to shake off Romeo. Police just arrived at the hangar, but the hostage is already racing through London streets. Noah wants to get away from Nick to keep him safe, but Nick won't fall behind. Then Noah sharply turns into an alley. Remembering her advice, Nick decides to cut the route. He flies out of a narrow passage and blocks their path. Noah crashes right into his car with a scream. From impact, Nick's car flipped and caught fire, and the McLaren is smashed to pieces. Fortunately, Nick came to and managed to crawl out of the burning car, but Travis already got out of the sports car with gun drawn. He dragged disoriented Noah onto the street. Police cars converge from all sides, and Travis takes his own daughter hostage. He realizes he can't escape now and decides to open fire, but Noah breaks free from his grip with a decisive movement and runs to Nick. Then a shot rings out behind them. Travis lies on the ground. Police neutralize the criminal, but Nick also slides to the ground. The girl calls for help. Nick loses consciousness in her arms, and the shocked girl is pulled aside. 6 weeks later, Noah appears at a pool party. Her parents are playing cards. Recovered Liam is here too. But where's Nick? He dramatically emerges from the pool. Noah can't take her eyes off him. The guy grabs her, and they fall into the water together. The rain that started scattered all the guests. Only Nick and Noah stayed alone in the rain. They dive underwater together. Their parents lost them again. Will worries there's something between them, but Mom is sure it's simply impossible. At this moment, Nick tenderly kisses Noah underwater. If you're happy that this couple is back together, hit the like button.